This is a TBR and I didn't even get my books, so hold please. I'm back. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you again for clicking on my video. I'm Rose, and this is my May TBR. All right, so I was in a humongous slump in April. I'm not sure why. I got sick in April. I had a birthday. I just wasn't really feeling well. Maybe turning 25 just really put you in a slump, quarter life crisis or something. But May, I'm getting back into it, okay? So I wanted to get into a lot of the books that I plan to read in May. Now, these are not all the books that I'm planning, but these are, I really want to get into them. Also, I do have more of these books physically. Was I too lazy to go and get them from downstairs or from my car? The answer is yes. So I'm going to first show you the books that I have physically, and then I will tell you about the other books and insert a picture like in this area, maybe. So my first book, and these first ones are going to probably be all my thriller horror books that I really want to read this month. My first one is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. Now, I know how we feel about Riley Sager. I know how people feel. But me, I love it. I love the outrageousness. I love how crazy these plot twists are. I love how sometimes it just doesn't make sense. I love the camp, okay? So I'm on a mission to read every single Riley Sager book, except I refuse to read Survive the Night. I will probably never read Survive the Night. So the next one on the docket is The Last Time I Lied. I literally have not read the synopsis for this. Do I really read synopsis for books? No. But for you, I will explain what this book is about. Give me a second. I am back and I did read the synopsis. I'm not going to tell you everything that happened in the synopsis because it was way too long. But basically, our main character, Emma, when she was a kid, she was at this Camp Nightingale. And one night they were playing games, and Emma watched as her friends snuck out of the cabin, and that was the last that anyone ever saw of those friends. And so now in her adulthood, she is an artist and she's asked to come back to this camp to teach art at this camp. And basically crazy stuff is gonna happen. I'm assuming it's gonna be a great, campy, outrageous time. My next book, which I am so sad I have not read yet because I just keep putting it off and I don't know why I haven't picked it up. It is In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. Now, I know that this was her first thriller. I believe this was her debut novel. If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. I'm not fact checking. But I read The Last Housewife first, and that is my favorite thriller of all time still. I know there were some people that were very iffy about it just because of the content in that book, but I loved it. And I know that people actually love this book more. So I don't know why I haven't picked it up. I've literally read like the first 10 pages. Just haven't read it. So hopefully May is the month that I read this. Basically, when these friends were in college, one of their friends was murdered. Now it is 10 years later and they've got to find out the real truth. The friends are reunited and I'm assuming that some crazy stuff is going to happen. My friend Joy, who I do my book club with, she is not a huge thriller reader. She loves romance, but she said she could not put this book down. So I'm very excited and I've seen just such amazing reviews for it. My next book, which I've actually already started, but again, in April, I was just in a slump. So I'm definitely going to finish this book. This will probably be one of the first books in May that I finish. It is Ring Shout. Now, this is actually my fiance's book that he picked out, but I've seen a lot of amazing reviews on YouTube, and one of my favorite YouTubers, Haley Hughes, and she loved this book. And this is basically the KKK. They're like zombie monster things, and this group of friends kill them. I don't know the actual plot, but I'm already on page 20, and it's just amazing. The writing is amazing. It's really, really short. It's technically dark fantasy, but it's very horror novel type of thing. So I love it and I'm so excited. I don't think I said the author. I hope I say this right. I'm so sorry if I don't. Djeli Clark. If I don't say your name right, I'm so sorry, but I love your writing. Oh, and my next book is also another book that I have been wanting to read. I've literally posted this book on Instagram multiple times. Have I read it yet? The answer is no, but I will. The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. Please, please. Okay. I need to read this book in May. This is a YA thriller, actually. And YA thriller has been a little hit and miss. My most experience with YA thrillers is Holly Jackson. I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I was not the biggest fan of Five Survive. But I just know Tiffany D. Jackson is a queen, a YA horror thriller queen. So I have to read it. This girl is half black, half white. She goes to an pretty much all white school and nobody actually knows that she's black. She straightens her hair all the time. She really tries to pass. And then just one day, I don't know exactly what happens. I guess her hair gets wet or everyone just knows. And she gets bullied and just crazy things happen. And this is basically like a Carrie retelling as well. That's why I'm very excited. I'm probably not going to ever read Stephen King. I do love the Carrie movie, but I'll probably never read Stephen King. So I'm so excited that Tiffany D. Jackson has this book. Okay, and this is going to be my last thriller / horror book, and it is Daphne. Daphne by Josh Malerman. I am also on a journey to read all Josh Malerman books, so I'm excited to read Daphne. I probably should read Mallory next because that's the next one in Bird Box, but gonna read this one next. So this is basically about this high school basketball team. It's right before their last game. One of the members tells this ghost story about Daphne, who I guess used to go to this high school, and she died under mysterious circumstances. Some say that she was murdered, others that she had died by her own hands. And so basically, after this ghost story is told, Kit's teammates start going missing, vanishing, and it's just like, is Daphne actually rematerializing and killing all these people, or what is going on? So I'm very excited. I saw also mixed reviews on this book. Some people really, really liked it. Some people were just like, meh. Apparently it has just a lot of basketball in it, which I don't mind, but I just hope that it has the horror. And my favorite thing about Josh Malerman is it's not like always extreme gore. It's really never extreme gore, but it just makes you feel uneasy. And I'm sorry if I'm like blinding you guys from like the window, but I like that feeling. So I'm very excited. Now for my fantasy TBR, 10,000 Stitches by Olivia Atwater. I absolutely loved Half a Soul. Half a Soul is one of my favorite books probably ever. It just made me feel so warm, cozy. It's so funny to go from horror and thriller to like cozy fantasy. But Half a Soul just made me feel so warm. I loved Dora. I loved Elias. Like, it was just amazing. So I'm very excited to read 10,000 Stitches. I know it doesn't follow the same couple, but it is the next book. It's like a Regency fantasy romance type of book, but it's very low fantasy, also very low romance, unless this has higher romance. I'm not sure. I think that this one actually, from what I've seen and people have said, that it gives more of like a Cinderella twist. Yes, that's what it says, with a Cinderella twist. It is Effie who has fallen in love with Mr. Benedict Ashbrook, but Effie is a housemaid, and a housemaid cannot marry a gentleman. So I just know it's going to be amazing. Next, another book. This is a theme. Another book I have been meaning to read, but I've been putting off for so long. So last year, I finally read The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, and Loved it. It is amazing. It is a masterpiece. It is perfection. Okay? Did I start the Dragon Republic about 10 times after that? Yes. Have I finished it? No. Have I gotten past chapter 2? No. And it's not because it's bad. It's just because I haven't been in the mood. But I'm in the mood now. So the next book is The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. This is the second book in the Poppy War series. So I can't really tell you exactly the synopsis of this without spoiling the Poppy War. But the series follows Rin, who she started out in this super small province, and she just really, really wanted to get out. She took this test that normally you have to be in school, study, you got to be pretty much rich. She took this test to go to this amazing military school, and she actually got in. And it kind of goes through just her journey of learning how to fight, learning how to be a good soldier, learning just all of these things that she had never learned before. She kind of gets bullied at this school. She meets this teacher who becomes her mentor, and eventually all hell breaks loose. So yeah, that's the Poppy War. That was a really bad explanation of it. I'm sorry, but you guys should read that book. Even if you don't like fantasy or haven't read a lot of fantasy, it's just so good. It gets very, very dark though. So if you just know that you're not very into like dark content or horror and things like that, you probably should skip that book. But I need to finally read the second book and then the third book to finish out the trilogy. Okay, now my last physical book that I have with me to show you guys is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Now, I have never read a Brandon Sanderson book. I will eventually. Well, I will read this one, obviously, but like Mistborn, The Way of Kings, never read them, and I'm so sorry. I will one day. But this is cozy fantasy, and it's just right up my alley because I'm very extreme on both ends. I either really love extreme horror, gore, I want to be scared, or I just love a cozy fantasy, and this just sounds perfect. I also started this book, did not finish it. I read like 10 pages. It was so cute. Didn't finish it. Also, don't know much about what the plot is supposed to be. So in this video's fashion, I'm going to read the synopsis and I will be right back. Ooh, okay. I should have read the synopsis before. It sounds so good. All right, so it's about Tress, and basically her whole life she's just been on this island alone. She collects a lot of cups from like the sailors from faraway lands, and she loves to listen to stories from her friend I was about to call him Charlie. That's way cuter. But one day, his father takes him on a voyage to find a bride, and just all hell breaks loose. And Tress like sneaks in the ship, like is stowed away on here, and just kind of has to figure out not being on the island anymore. So this just sounds so exciting, and it's so cute. I have to give you guys a little tour of this book. So obviously you guys saw the dust jacket. I'll take that off. This is just the regular book. There's an even more beautiful cover as well. So here is the spine. I know it's like blurry, but guys, look at this little cup and this inside. And then there's a little rat. I don't know if you guys can see the rat, but so cute. And it actually has a picture of Tress inside. So I love it. I can't wait. Like I said, I did start this book already, but just didn't finish it. So hopefully May is the time. Now, I'm going to try to get through all of this before it gets dark outside because it's kind of starting to get dark. Here are all of the books that I do not have physically either with me right now, or I just don't have the physical books. I really, really want to read Playground by Aron Beauregard. Now, Aron Beauregard, he is an extreme horror author, and I know that there's just a little bit of controversy, not necessarily controversy, but just like his book, The Slob or The Son of the Slob. I haven't read those, but I know that those are just very icky and just have some things in there that are like, you didn't have to write that. But Playground just sounds crazy. It's basically like Squid Games, but with kids. Now, warning, This is extreme horror. So if you know that you are very sensitive to topics or you need trigger warnings beforehand, please read them or just don't go into this book because it's probably going to have all the trigger warnings in the whole world. That's normally how they are. They're pretty disgusting, but the stories are just so compelling. What is this type of thing? And I like to feel that way. So yeah, I'm excited to read this book, and I love Squid Games. I know it's not exactly like that, but that's what I've heard, so I'm very excited. Another extreme horror book that I really want to read is For the Sake of Two by Judith Sonnet. Now, last year I read For the Sake of, the first one, and absolutely loved it. It was crazy, it was twisted. All of her books are very, very short, at least the ones that I've read. And they are just so twisty, action-packed, disgusting, like worst things you've ever read, but you can't look away. So I'm very excited to see what For the Sake of Two is like. I've heard that it's actually better, or people like it even more. Again, I've gotten pretty much all of my extreme horror recs from Haley Hughes, so shout out to you. I love you so much. So I have to read it. I didn't read the synopsis for the Sake of Two. But the first book, this guy pretty much runs the dark web, okay? He somehow makes these people do crazy things for the sake of saving their loved one. Basically pushes them to the point of, what would you do? What is the extent that you would go to save a loved one? He makes them torture themselves, do just awful, disgusting things, and has them film it or take pictures or have evidence and posts it for all of his followers and crazy fans to see. And so it follows one of those that's going on, and just the twist at the end is crazy. So I'm very excited to read the second book. Okay, last book on my official TBR, basically just the books that I can think of right now that I want to read, is Radiant Sin by Katee Robert. Now, I just realized that it's literally on my shelf somewhere back there. It takes too much to go get it. But this is like some of the romance that I've read. I'm not a huge contemporary romance girly. Like, just the ones that I've read, I haven't loved. Or just, I hate the third act breakup. I hate just the conflict. Like, when it feels so real, I don't like that conflict. But in a fake world, I love it. So Radiant Sin is a part of the Dark Olympus series in Katee Roberts. I think it's going to be like 16 books, something crazy like that. But I did read the first 3 already, which were Neon Gods, Electric Idol, and Wicked Beauty. Wicked Beauty, spicy, crazy, good time. Loved it. So it basically follows all the gods in Olympus. They're gods. They don't actually have powers and things like that, but it's more of like a political title that they all have, and it just follows different couples basically getting steamy, okay? And Radiant Sin, I have not read the synopsis. I will not read the synopsis, but it follows one of the couples, and I'm very excited. And if you've read it, let me know how it is. It's the newest one that just came out. All right, guys, that is all I've got for you. That's all the books on my May TBR. I hope that I read at least one of them, okay? If I read at least one, that's a success, because like I said, I am a huge mood reader, so I will probably not pick up a majority of these, but the hope is that I do read all of them. Let me know your May hopefuls, or even your whole May TBR list. Thank you again for watching, for sticking around, for staying for the whole video, for keeping up with my rambling. I'm sorry. I love you guys already, and thank you. Please follow me on Instagram at Flower Reads a Lot, my podcast, Control Your Shelf, and join the book club, a Very Risky book club. I would love to see you, to chat with you. It's really fun. Everybody there is just amazing. And yeah, thank you. Subscribe, like it, comment, all the YouTube stuff that people say. Boom, ba-da-dum. She's done.